ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवांसस्तनूभिः यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Hari Om, salutations to all. So we saw the question with which Rishi Aashvalaayana has gone to Brahmaji. He has gone actually seeking Brahma Vidya. So he says, Adhihi Bhagavan, oh Supreme Lord, please teach me. Teach me what? Brahma Vidyam Varishtham, the supreme knowledge, which is knowledge of the self, Brahma Vidyam. Sada Sadbhi Sevyamanam, that which is always sought after or resorted to by the seekers, and which is Nigudham, which is hidden, which is a secret. Why do I want to know that? Yaya Achirat, by knowing that instantly, quickly, Sarva Papam Vyapohya, having given up all the sins. Sins here meaning all the three challenges that we have to realize the self. Mala meaning impurities of the mind, selfishness, greed, anger, jealousy, intoxication, pride, all these. Delusion. Vikshepa, wandering of the mind, and avarana, ignorance of the self. Avidya, ignorance of the self. Avarana is the veiling. So he says, Sarva Papam Vyapohya. Having given up, meaning the sense of individuality itself, one will transcend. Because the ego has all these challenges. This knowledge is that which is beyond. I want to know who am I beyond this limited conditioning. Brahma Vidya is not some knowledge about some Brahman out there. It is a knowledge of the self, Atma. Basically, it is knowledge of who am I truly. So, Adhi Bhagavan Brahma Vidyam Varishtham. And having known that, Sarva Papam Vyapohya, one goes beyond all sins. The sin and merit come for whom? They come for a jiva who has karta bhav. So when a jiva who has karta bhav, the sense of doership, engages in action which is meritorious, which is, let us say, dharmic, which is righteous, which is noble, then it will give rise to merit, punya. If one does actions which are adharmic, hurtful, harmful, destructive, based on six impurities, then it will create papa. So here the word papa does not mean only those negative actions. It means all. Sarvam word is used. All. Sarva papam vyapohya. Punya and papa both are binding. For both one has to take a birth to exhaust the punya and papa. in whichever realm it may be, but it is still finite and it becomes a bondage. So, sarva papam vyapohya, giving up all papas. How is that possible? The source of all papa is aham, small I. Brahma Vidya will make us realize I am not that at all. So, sarva papam vyapohya. Like last time, I think we gave the example of a criminal who does a crime and has been sentenced to, let us say, 14 years of jail, and he dies after serving 4 years of the term. What will happen to the rest of the 10 years? Written off because the criminal has died. Same way here. A person realizes, I am not this jiva, like the dreamer woke up. The dreamer has merged as though into the waker. Now the whole dream world, all the dream actions, everything disappeared. But the fact is, what did that person realize when one woke up? I was never the dream character at all. That knowledge is Brahma Vidya. I am never this jiva. How will I wake up? It doesn't mean that I can do any negative karma, live anyhow, do anything, and then say that now I will get Brahma Vidya and everything will be wiped clean. It will not happen. Mind has to get purified, unified, then it has to be transcended. It's a whole process of sadhana. So, sarva papam vyapohya means that I want to let go of this individuality. See, when he says adhihi, you please teach me, one has come to surrender and one is asking for this knowledge. Then one also has to have that willingness to let go of the ego, of the small I. We are not many times able to let go of a small fixation in the mind. Forget the entire ego itself. One fixation we have, this should happen like this person should listen to me, this person should make these choices. You know, we have so many insistences and we get fixated until this does not happen, I'm not happy. That is one aspect of the ego. The entire ego itself one is ready to let go. That is mumukshutvam. That is the intense longing for the truth. One has seen the limitation of egoistic existence. Until we don't see the limitations of it, the pain of it, the sorrow that it creates, and how it affects us and others, so many challenges are because of the ego. One can't see the truth because of the ego. Forget ultimate truth, even regular at the relative level, many things we can't see because the ego is clouding us. Dhritarashtra could not see, though he deep in his heart he knows that I am not doing my duty as a king, but the blinding has happened. He is physically born blind and emotionally completely attached to his own image as a king, not even as a son. He doesn't have a deep attachment to his son for whom he wants the kingdom. If he really had that much attachment to the son, he should have made the son the king by now. No? But he never made his son the king. Think about that. Full war happened, his son died. All his children died. But he doesn't give up the power because he feels inferior. And that inferiority complex never went, no matter what he achieved. So clouding, ego is clouded. Then one can't see the truth. Our mind gets clouded when we give some idea, it is not taken, then we feel rejected. My spouse or my child or my employee does not listen to me, then one feels hurt, rejected. Then one's perception only changes. So even in small things, the ego clouds. One who has seen through the painful nature of egoistic existence and one who has seen how joyous it is to be free from the ego. Even simple act of selfless service where we do our best, dedicated to Bhagavan, dedicated to a higher purpose, no attachment to any specific result. We may expect a result, work hard, but no attachment. If it comes, great. If it doesn't come, Narayana samarpayami. Whatever result comes, offer it to Bhagavan. No attachment, then how much the mind is free? One who has seen through all that, ready to let go of the ego. Sarva papam vyapohya. See, this person has done karma yoga, has done upasana, already the ego has become thin. That thin ego also one wants to drop. We have our egos which are so thick and not ready to let go. The ego which has been reduced, subdued so much, sublimated, surrendered because of karma yoga, upasana, now has come to the teacher, serving the teacher, one learns the knowledge. He's asking, give me that knowledge by which this ego I will drop, even whatever is left, drop. Sarva papam vyapohya. Then what will happen? Will you become zero? No. Parat param purusham. One attain the supreme purusha, beyond whom there is nothing more. Everything else that we achieve, there is something more to achieve. One still remains finite. This is infinity. Nothing more than that. And where is that Purusha word indicates that which is Purnam, which is complete, and which is here and now in our own heart as the true self. Parat Param Purusham Yati. One attains, one discovers that state. Who is this person? Not somebody who is rejected, depressed, who is an escapist from life. He is a Vidwan. He has studied, he has known, he has followed the science of the spiritual subjective science. One has done. And that wise person, in all the maturity, discrimination between real and unreal, has come to discern that that which is the real alone is our true self, and that is worth knowing. Everything else is perishable. So, with that clarity, one has come. That Vidwan will go beyond this Sarva Papam Vyapohya, beyond the BMI. So, now, here, when he has asked this is the glory of human life also. Gurudev used to say the autobiography of a buffalo in the backyard and its master is the same, unless the master does not seek the highest. And buffalo also grows, eats, you know, breeds, has the young ones, makes them grow, becomes old, dies. So he used to say that this is the glory of human being. That having been born as a human being, buddhi has been given to us. Through that buddhi, what do I seek? I seek that supreme, Brahma Vidyam Varishtham. Now, when he has asked for this, he said, Adhihi. So, what does Brahmaji do now? When a student approaches a teacher, and sincere student it is, and here it is Aashvalaayana Rishi, the teacher's duty is to give the knowledge. It's a bounden duty. And each teacher, each student has their own level of preparedness. So accordingly, the teacher also will give the knowledge. So here you see, what does Brahmaji say? Tasmai sahovacha pitamahascha shraddha bhakti dhyana yogadavaihi. Tasmai saha uvacha. To him he spoke. To Aashvalaayana Rishi, Brahmaji said. And Brahmaji is called here as Pitamaha. Pitamaha, literal meaning grandfather, but Pitamaha also is used in the sense of respect for age, for experience. And Brahmaji is the grandsire of the whole world in the sense that he is the source. And so, here Pitamahascha, Tasmai Sahovacha Pitamahascha. This mantra, who is saying? Mother Shruti is saying. Ashvalayana Rishi went to Brahmaji, asked for the knowledge. To him, Brahmaji said, this line is said by Mother Shruti. What Brahmaji said, that is the second line. That is Brahmaji is saying. But Tasmai sa hovacha pitamahascha. To him, the Pitamaha, Brahmaji, said. So Brahmaji is the grandfather, Pitamaha literally is grandfather, Prapitamaha is great grandfather. Here, when he says Pitamaha, it also indicates the special love that grandparents have for their children. Meaning the teacher also has that much love for the student. Teacher is not sitting in some dry intellectual state. Teacher has a lot of love and compassion for the student. And here, when we see uh, Brahmaji, Brahmaji is for the whole creation. He is the parent also, no, in that sense. And then because he is the ultimate source, everything manifests from him. So he is called Pitamaha. Now, the love of a parent, the parent is quite a bit interested in disciplining the child, also making the child learn certain right manners and speak in the right way, and also ensure that the conduct of the child is proper. Now the parent has that duty, and parent does that also, and parent also love the child, but grandparents love is very special. And grandchildren also love the grandparents much more in that sense, and grandparents also take some more, give them more, little more liberties, because out of experience they have also learned. As parents, when they have brought up their child, they have learned a few things. They understood, oh, this is to be done, this is not to be done, and what difference does it make as we grow. Ultimately, it is really what is how the person feels loved, that is more important. Rest of it can be added, but for the sake of disciplining and making certain things very strict and rigid, and we should fall into place by this time. If the child does not feel loved, feel belonging, feel the sense of security, safety, happiness, what are we doing? That is where the difficulty is. And when one grows up insecure, one grows up feeling not very secure and happy, discontented, irritable, all those psychological challenges which come today. Many people say they are the psychologists, psychiatrists, they all will say they are the seeds are sown in the childhood, especially the first 5 years, the formative years. So the idea here is there is so much of love that the grandparent has for the child. So Pitamaha. Now, why that is important, we'll see. So, what did Brahmaji now reply? With great love, affection, Brahmaji explained to him that yes, you can know this Purusha, Parat Param Purusham. How will you know this Purusha? How will you attain this Brahma Vidya? Three things he said: Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana Yogad Avaihi. Know this through Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana Yoga, through faith, devotion, and contemplation. You know this. He said, you please give me this knowledge. He said, you know this. Adhihi, he said, you teach me. Brahmaji said, Avaihi, you learn this. It's not some, that's why that word Pitama is there. Out of love, Bhagavan said. It is not that, okay, Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana Yoga, you come, you find out through this, you will know, go. It is not like that. Avaihi does not mean that attitude. Yeah, you come to, you learn through it by yourself, Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana Yoga, these are the means. No, no, no. There is great love in his mind, and he says three are the means: Shraddha, Bhakti, and Dhyana Yoga. Actually, in that we can say Shraddha, Bhakti are preparatory, Dhyana Yoga is the direct means. Or one can even say Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana, Yoga, all the three, each of them can lead one to the Supreme. We will see what each of them mean. So first one he says is Shraddha. What is Shraddha? So first aspect is why is Shraddha even required? Shraddha means faith. Why is faith even required? And many times we think faith is some blind emotional type of a faith where we don't have logic. If somebody says, prove to me God exists, a young person says, prove to me God exists. I don't believe in existence of God. I believe in science. So many young people say that today. And the elders, they have not thought enough. They say, don't ask questions, just have faith. God exists, full stop. If God did not exist, how did all this come? A young person says, Arey, this is nature and this is coming because of XYZ reasons, and Big Bang happened and this happened and then the cooling happened and then the earth is formed, and one whole process he will say. Now the elder is flabbergasted. Now the elder doesn't know how to prove to him the existence of God. So he doesn't have faith that God exists. And I'm not able to convince. Because you don't have faith. That's the problem. No, no, I have faith. I believe in God. That is not backed up by proper understanding. So faith is first of all required for that which is beyond the sensory perception, beyond emotional perception, beyond intellectual perception. For that faith is required. And that faith is based on logic. It is not based on some random thought process or just I have faith, don't ask why. I just know it. Very few people will actually have that type of a Shraddha and they can convince, they can't convince a person who is seeking logic. That intuitive faith also has to have a proper understanding behind it. Otherwise, it's not actually faith. It is just some emotional belief and it will get shattered. Don't people say that? How many years I worship Bhagwan? Every Monday I used to go to Shivji's puja, Shivji's temple, do Rudrabhishek. And when after so many years I have worshipped him, still I got cancer. Still I went through this loss. Where is God? Which God? I don't believe in any God. All my faith is shattered. I am a non-believer now. Now people say all that. Because it was never that strong faith. It was some weak foundation, some conditioning, something one has heard, one has seen, one has believed, okay, if I do this, this will happen. It is more of a transactional relationship. I do this to you, you do this to me. I worship you every day, your job is to protect me. I am offering you milk every day, you protect me. Every Monday I am coming to your temple, you save me, you give me, you bless me. It's a very limited type of understanding. The strong clarity, deep faith one did not have because there was no logical foundation to that proper. So first of all, faith is not some blind belief. And there's nothing called blind faith. Blind faith is an oxymoron. Because blind and faith can't go together. Darkness and light can't go together. Where there is light, there will not be any darkness. Faith is that light. Ignorance will go. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, Bhagavan says in the Gita. So faith, what is exactly then faith? So first of all, faith is required in what is imperceptible. The source of the entire creation is imperceptible. As a part of the creation with a limited intellect, which is also a part of the creation, how will I know the source of the whole creation? It is not a finite, perishable entity, no? In fact, faith is required for every knowledge because not every knowledge can be verified. Even those who say, I believe in science, only through some logical conclusion they would have understood about Big Bang. Who has actually seen the Big Bang? So those people who say, na, show me God. If I can't see God, I don't believe. And then don't believe in Big Bang because you can't see Big Bang. The scientists who speak about Big Bang, they have come to it through a certain inference. It is not direct perception. So, so many things like that. You can't show. Maybe there are some equipments through which one can show a certain process, but actually one has not seen. The universe is so huge. 100 billion stars are there in our galaxy only. 100 billion stars. Countless galaxies are there like that. Now, will you say, show me all this? One can infer only. The space shuttle, etc., goes up to a certain point. Rocket goes up to a certain point. Satellite goes up to a certain point. Maybe those capacities one will keep increasing, but the source of the ultimate source of the whole creation, even science can't show. But there is a subjective way to experience that source. That is the science. That's why Brahma Vidya is the supreme Vidya. Science will go out, this will turn in. And all the rishis, so many of them in the past, they did all this research and discoveries, etc., outside in the world, and understood that there is no sense of fulfillment in and through anything we do outside. So they turned within. And the Shraddha is that first step here. When he says that the Shraddha is required for what is imperceptible. I don't require Shraddha to know that there is a nose on my face. I don't require Shraddha to know that there is an emotion called love. I may not be able to see love as a thing, but I see the expressions of love. I feel in the presence of somebody looks at me lovingly, somebody holds my hand lovingly, and one feels. So it is perceptible. Success, perceptible. A certain idea, a creative thought, one can manifest. Perceptible. Sometimes it's a matter of time. What is not known today will become known tomorrow. This truth is not an objective thing like that. It is the very source of everything. So first of all, Shraddha is required in the very existence of that truth, that there is a truth which is imperceptible, which is imperishable. There are many things which are imperceptible, no doubt. With the right equipment of perception, one can perceive them, but they need not be imperishable. What one is seeing all around is something which is everything which is continuously perishing. That there is an imperishable truth, that there is Parat Param Purusham, that Purusha which is Purna, which is complete, is the source of all creation, is imperishable. That one has to have that Shraddha, that there is a reality like that. That's the definition of Shraddha also. Astikatayaha abhidhanam Shraddha means there is. Asti means is. Astika means one who is firmly convinced there is the absolute reality. Swamiji, what is the proof? Proof, bata, proof. This perishable world itself is the proof that there is an imperishable substratum. That's a logic, one aspect. First is the logic. If there is a cause, there has to be, if there is effect, there has to be a cause. And effect is perishable here. The cause can't be perishable because then the effect will not come back again. Is all finished, gone. There is a changeless substratum for everything that is changing. That is the first aspect, first basic logic. How do we know that there is something imperishable? You look at all his examples all around. If the river is continuously flowing, there has to be a stationary river bed. If the tracks are stationary, then only the train moves on it. If the stage is stationary, then only the dancer can dance on it, actor can act on it. So many examples. Movie, One goes on seeing continuously some 25 30 frames per second are being projected. The screen is stationary, the scenes keep changing. So there has to be a changeless substratum for the change to exist, for the change to even be perceived. In our own personality, there is one changeless truth which keeps observing all the changes in the body, mind, intellect. So Shraddha is based on logic, scriptural logic, so many ways the scriptures will explain. Read in that Upanishad. I won't go into the detail for now, but if you want to go through the commentary of Shankaracharya ji on the story in Upanishad, where this Devatas, Yaksha manifests in front of them and they can't move a blade of grass, they can't burn it, they can't blow it. Then they come to realize, we forgot the Supreme Lord because of whom we won the victory over the Asuras, and we rejoiced when we forgot the Lord, and Bhagwan in his compassion came to bring us out of this delusion. In that commentary, Shankaracharya writes about so many reasons why one believes that God exists. One has that faith. Our actions are the result of that. Our results are the proof of that. Karma phala comes from where? Action by itself cannot produce a result. Action is jadavastu. There are laws which are set into motion. So those who say, I don't believe in God, I believe in nature. What is that nature? Nature is Bhagavad Shakti only, no? It is not some random things happening in nature. There is a order, there is a system, there are certain things that are happening. Gurudev always said the universe is not a chaos, it is a cosmos. So that supreme intelligence which has brought all these laws into play, if there are laws which we are seeing, then there has to be a lawmaker. There is a sentient entity. It can't be some inert thing which many people think of nature as prakriti is inert. It is not inert. It is not some power. God is power. God is not some power. Power changes. Power is perishable. Energy, all of us know matter and energy are convertible. God is not some energy and some power. God is the source behind all energy, all power, all matter, everything. It is changeless absolute truth. So the very laws that are there are because of the supreme intelligence. The results which we are giving as per the law, if you do this, this will happen. How is that result coming? Even this cause and effect, how has it come into play? Scientific, logical, rational, those who think I am scientific, logical, rational, I am not spiritual. From where did this play of logic come? Who created all this? How is it even functioning? How do we get the power to act? How are the laws set up in motion? How is it that the each jiva gets the result of their karma? There are so many such things if one goes into the depth of it. So the definition of faith is this: astikatayaha abhidhanam. It is the firm conviction that there is the ultimate reality. If there's an effect, there has to be a cause. Effects are nothing but cause in another form. So where is that cause? All around us. All the waves, big wave, small wave, foam, bubble, lather, all that is nothing but water in another form. Cup, pitcher, saucer, pot, all that is mud in another form. So the entire creation with its variety, that itself is a proof of God. It has not come from nothing. It has not come from a perishable source. It has not come from inert source. It has come from a sentient source. That is, we call God. If somebody has some weird notions about God in their head, it is that their understanding limitation. God is infinite consciousness beyond any limitations of space, time, causation. That is God. Personified for us to connect, because to connect to infinity is not easy. And that Supreme Lord manifests also in those forms for us to come out of this state of delusion. But ultimately, it is the infinite consciousness that is the source. Matter can't be the source of the whole creation. It's a material cause of the creation. That's all. The intelligence behind this, the consciousness is the ultimate cause, and to have that firm conviction that yes, there is that. And that's why Gurudev said, belief reinforced with conviction is faith. Beautiful definition. You should note down if you want to. Belief reinforced with conviction is faith. Initially, one has a belief. How does it transform into faith? Through logical reflection, through experiential proof of so many Mahatmas who have experienced that state of consciousness across the world, who have spoken about it, who have experienced it, who have lived it. Study the scriptures, do the logical reflection, come to a certain clarity, read the lives of saints, understand what is that higher state of consciousness, have the company of bhaktas, devotees, seekers. So many methods are there. Through that, this belief will transform into conviction. Prahlad had a conviction that God exists. Even his life is at stake, and so many times the attempts are made to kill him, but he does not budge from his conviction. That conviction one must have that Bhagwan is. People who study Vedanta, we must definitely have the clarity and conviction and the ability to express also that. Whether the opposite person accepts it or not, that is their lookout. Because sometimes they are attached to their opinions and sometimes they need more time and clarity to think. So they may not immediately accept, and we don't have to bother about that. Swamiji, I was not able to convince. You be convinced and you express it clearly. After that, it is their choice. That we don't have to worry, it is my failure. If I have not understood clearly, I am not convinced, or I am not expressing clearly, I should work on it, no doubt. But otherwise, I don't have to convince anybody. Each one has to conclude by themselves only. All this is not, one can't enforce it on people. It has to come by themselves, and the opportunity is given, exposure is given. After it, it is their choice. So don't worry about that. We have to have clarity. So belief reinforced with conviction is faith. Then there is no doubt. Interesting thing is Hiranyakashipu also is convinced that God exists. Vishnu exists, he knows. Because Hiranyakashipu, his brother Hiranyaksha was killed by Bhagwan Vishnu. So he doesn't have a doubt that God exists, but he doesn't have clarity into as to where that God is, what is the true nature of God. And in the egoistic thought process that he was in, he said, I alone am God. Everybody should worship me. Nobody should worship Vishnu. Because he thought God is only that much. So break the temples, destroy the murtis, don't allow the yajnas and yagas to happen, don't do any dharmic activities. Through that, Vishnu gets power. All that is delusion. And there are enough Hiranyakashipus today also. Worship me alone. This is the only way, this is the only path, this is the only goal, only means. Prahlad says Bhagwan is everywhere. One can connect to Bhagwan through everything. His clarity. So both have some understanding that God exists, but Prahlad is convinced not only of existence of God, but is also convinced of the very nature of God, and has the faith that Bhagwan protects. So he doesn't have fear. They take him top of the mountain, throw him down. They try to drown him in the ocean. They try to, make him sleep on the ground. An elephant goes on him, and so many things they try. Put him in a pit of snakes. Nothing affects. Why? Because the Shraddha is so strong, not only in existence of God, but in the nature of God, as well as the protection of God. All. Each one will lead to the other. When I know God exists, then I start inquiring, I start understanding nature of Bhagwan, contemplate, reflect, all that. Then I become aware of the very, convinced of the nature of Bhagwan. And that means Bhagwan is in me, around me, everywhere. He's not some limited entity, he's all pervasive. So when Hiranyakashipu says, is your God in the pillar? Without a doubt, he says, yes. He is not thinking, पता नहीं होंगे कि नहीं होंगे, आई डोंट नो, पिलर तो पिलर होता है, उसमें भगवान कहाँ है, मुझे तो नहीं दिख रहा. He is not doubting. Bhagwan exists. So, nature of Bhagwan. And Bhagwan protects. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Bhagwan protects. That Shraddha one must have. No, no, Swamiji, where Bhagwan protects, even after devotion, I still am feeling, I am facing financial difficulties, I am facing physical difficulties. Bhagwan is exhausting some karma of yours, that's all. He is a karma phala data. Bhagwan knows in his intelligence what is good for us. Some negative karma, some papa karma, something which is to be exhausted is getting exhausted. Secondly, this is perishable prakriti, no? Bhagwan gives opportunities to get vairagya, get detached from the perishable. Pain is the biggest wake up call. Only when pain comes, we actually turn towards Bhagwan. There are people who turn towards alcohol and they go into drugs and depression also when they have pain. But otherwise, one will turn to God, saying, Bhagwan, please help me, save me. One will take the name of the Lord as a source of strength to handle this challenge. Because otherwise, in happiness, in success, in enjoyment, even if we feel grateful to Bhagwan, thank you, Bhagwan, for all that you have done for me. I'm so happy I got this success, that much, and then forget. Then enjoy, indulge. I'm not saying don't celebrate, don't be happy in success, etc. But that bhav of being connected to the Lord is much more in pain because I'm continuously thinking, and that's why Kunti said, Bhagwan, please bless us with pain. She asked that very unique boon to Krishna Bhagwan. Before Krishna Bhagwan departed, after Mahabharat war, he was with them for a certain time. Then he departed to Dwarka. Before he departed, Kunti Mata asks, in Bhagavatam it comes, please bless us with pain. Imagine they have already gone through pain. Pandava's whole life has been full of pain. Still she's asking, give me pain. Not because she is in love with sorrow and she wants some sympathy and all that, but she is talking about human nature. That human nature is like that. It does not remember the Lord in good times, or it remembers and immediately forgets. Again, back to attachments, indulgence, all that. In pain, one will remember. So, some karma, Bhagwan is exhausting it. Full stop. The devotee has that firm faith that Bhagwan protects. Bhagwan is the one who is giving everything. Sukha also Bhagwan only gave, Dukha also Bhagwan only gave. Whatever Bhagwan gives, तेरे फूलों से भी प्यार, तेरे कांटों से भी प्यार, तू जो कुछ दे दे हमें सब कुछ है स्वीकार. That bhav is Shraddha. And that's why Shraddha is not some blind faith. When I understand that there is logic, there is karma phala, there is cause and effect, and the whole thing is functioning under the guidance and grace of Bhagwan. So it's not happening randomly. There is a systematic arrangement here. So that Shraddha in existence of the Lord, in the existence of, in the nature of Bhagwan, and who is Brahman, who is Ishvara, who is Avatar, who is Ishtadevata, who are the Devatas. This clarity one must have. Otherwise, Shraddha will not happen. There will be some blind faith, a blind belief, sorry. Brahman is infinite consciousness, beyond name, form, attributes, desha, kala, vastu, space, time, causation, in which there is no creation. There is only one infinite consciousness. That is absolute truth. But we see the creation. That is changeless. This is changing. So from where it came? So we say using the power of Maya, that changeless appears as the changing. Using the power of dreaming, the waker assumes identity of a dream creator and then creates the whole dream world, all the dream things. So that Brahman plus Maya is equal to Ishvara. That Ishvara is called Bhagavan. Why Bhagavan? Because in connection to creation. No? So the Srishtikarta, Dharta, Harta, the creator, sustainer, destroyer. That is Ishvara. And that Ishvara only manifests in various ways for the devotees, seekers to connect and to come to realize their true nature, to wake up from the dream. So he manifests in three ways. Sagun Sakar. So many forms which will be there: Durga, Devi, Kali, and the Hanumanji and Shivji and Vishnu Bhagwan, Ganeshji, hundreds of forms. Any form that we like, Bhagwan can manifest and give us darshan in that form. There are specific forms also which exist. Then there is Sagun Nirakar, which is sound. So just through the sound of Om doesn't have a form. Form has come much later. Otherwise, Omkar is Sagun Nirakar Upasana. Through sound, one connects to the divine. And then Nirgun Nirakar, beyond name, beyond qualities, beyond form. Pointers of Brahman. Through all the three, one can connect to the Supreme. So that is, from there I have to choose which is mine. I connect to that and have the Shraddha that this form exists. Shiva as a form exists. One can't say that it's only symbolism. So many devotees have had darshan of Bhagavan. Are we going to nullify all that? We are not even talking about Puranic stories. Historical, 63 saints in Tamil Nadu. Just one example I'm giving. 63 Nayanars, 12 Alvars, Vishnu Bhaktas, Nayanars, Shiva Bhaktas. Those are historical examples. So many of them are people who have been there in the Chola time, Pandya time. Bhagwan has manifested. Namdev more recently, Tukaram more recently, Mirabai more recently. All their experiences, how can we discount? And think all this all symbolism or this some hallucination of some people's mind. It is not. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, was he hallucinating? What experiences he had and how many things happened in his life? Sagun Sakar, then the Divine Mother led him to Nirgun Nirakar. You just imagine, you read the lives of saints, a whole different dimension of thinking opens up. And these are not stories written by people. These are experiences that people have gone through. And if one follows that path, one will go through. A skeptic like Vivekananda is transformed because of the mystic like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Logic could not get him anywhere. He went around asking people, have you seen God? Have you seen God? Have you seen God? So many people gave him logic and explanations and theories and philosophies. He said, I don't want. Have you seen God? And when he goes to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, what does Ramakrishna say? Yes, I have seen God and I see God more clearly than I see you. What a statement that is. That statement one can understand from both standpoints. One is a simple standpoint where one says that yes, he had darshan of Mother Kali and for him Mother Kali is more real than the world. From a Vedantic standpoint, Aham, the pure I, the real I, the self, is experienced by us first, then we experience the world. He is abiding in that Atma. What he says here, na Parat Param Purusham. He is abiding in that state. Parat Param Purusham Yati Vidwan. He is in that state of Parat Param Purusham. So first comes Aham, then comes Idam. The real I am talking about, not the small I. Even that small I comes before Idam, but I am talking about the Aham, this pure consciousness. What a beautiful. Suddenly, Vivekananda is spellbound. He is stunned there because nobody has told him like this. And of course, he goes on testing Ramakrishna for some more time. All that is a history. But the point is, Shraddha, that form exists. Mother Kali exists as a form. Then that bhakti comes, Sharanagati comes, Vananyata comes, remembrance comes, one will attain. So that's why I said even one of these Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyana, Yoga, all the three can lead, combination of the three can lead, or any one also can lead one to the Supreme. Deepest Shraddha will lead to abidance in the Supreme, no doubt. If just one quality, one aspect we hold on to, I go on deepening my faith. So two definitions of faith we discussed. One, astikatayaha abhidhanam. It is the indicator of the firm conviction that God exists. Second, belief reinforced with conviction is faith. That is Gurudev's definition. Third, faith is to see, believe what you don't see, the result of which is you will see what you believed in. Faith is to believe what you don't see. I don't see immediately that God exists through my senses, though I'm actually seeing God alone, but the mind does not accept. So it is to believe what I don't see through all this logic, scripture, lives of saints, all this. The result of which is I will see what I believed in. That yes, this is a truth. Then it becomes knowledge, experience. Then Shraddha is not required because it's experiential now. Fourth, Shraddha is required in all the three. The goal, that is called Prameya, the means, that is called Pramana, and the individual, that is called Pramata. So Shraddha is required in the goal that we already saw, in the existence of Bhagwan or consciousness or the Supreme Purusha. One has to have Shraddha, goal. Shraddha has to be there in the means also. Now what is the means? The means is Vedanta, Guru and Vedanta Vakya. I must have Shraddha in the Guru that this is my Sadguru and he will be able to lead me to the truth because he is established in the truth. Shraddha must be there in Shrotriya Brahmanishta Guru, not just anybody who is doing some miracle or who has some special powers and oratory skills or organizational skills. Brahmanishta. If Brahmanishta can't be there, then Shrotriya, knowledgeable in scriptures. And of course, the faith that the Guru himself is either established in the truth or is a sincere seeker, advanced seeker, walking the path, free from kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Then that Guru's words will touch my heart and it will transform. So that Shraddha in the Guru, that if the Guru has said this, I must think why he has said this, what is the reasoning behind it, how should I apply this in my life. One has to have, not, initially one may test the Guru like Vivekananda tested Ramakrishna, etc. But once one is convinced that this is my Sadguru, then faith. Again, I'm saying that faith does not mean whatever the Guru says, I'll just do it blindly. I can think, I can agree, I can understand. If I don't understand, I can go and ask questions. There's another point to know. Faith and questioning are not opposed to each other. Questioning will deepen the faith. If I question with the intent to know, and when I gain the knowledge, I reflect upon it, it will deepen my faith. But if I question just for the heck of questioning, I'm not interested in the truth, I'm just wanting to say that whatever you say is wrong, I don't accept, I don't agree, then that is stupidity. That one is not even interested in knowing the truth and deepening the faith. One is just stuck in the ego. Some people came to Kabir Das ji to invite him for a debate. Kabir Das ji folded his hand and he said, I concede defeat. I declare you are victorious. I don't want to waste my time engaging in a debate. Because those people were not interested in actually knowing the truth. They were interested in saying that we are superior and Kabir Das ji we have defeated. Yes, you live in that. I don't even want to engage in the debate. I lost. I concede defeat. You have won. So when one questions, see, like Tapon Maharaj put the condition to Gurudev that I will teach only once. And if you don't answer when I ask you a question, then you have to leave. Gurudev accepted that condition. But what did he do? Gurudev kept listening to Tapon Maharaj, and when he had doubts, he kept on asking Tapon Maharaj till he got his full clarity. So it's not that he didn't have faith. He had faith in Tapon Maharaj's words, but to understand better, he kept asking him questions because then only that faith will become proper. The belief will transform into conviction. And when he had that bhav that, I must go down and I must share this knowledge with the masses, he went to Tapon Maharaj and he told Tapon Maharaj, Taponji told him, don't go down, you will get caught in the cycle of karma. Those who want this knowledge will come to you. They will come here. You give them. At that point in time, Gurudev heard and he went back, he reflected, and he went back to Tapon Maharaj and he said, the urge is irresistible. So Tapon Maharaj said, go down to the plains, see if you can maintain your mananam, your reflection amidst the people in the din and roar of the marketplace. Gurudev took an all India tour. You know, I think April 1951 to almost August or September. Went around the country to see what is the state of our country, our culture, the Hindu culture and the ashrams and temples, and he went around. And he writes there, I was most disillusioned at the way the ashrams were functioning. And he came back and he framed that Gangotri plan to go and do Upanishad Jnana Yajnas in the cities, in the country. So when he told Tapon Maharaj, this is my plan, Tapon Maharaj said, you consider yourself blessed if you even find 3-4 people who are sincere to learn Vedanta. So this Guru-Shishya relationship, if you see, it's not that everything that the Guru says blindly one will only follow. The temperament of Gurudev was such that he had his thinking and he had his vision, which is again a selfless vision. It's nothing for himself and ego and all that. So he disagrees with the master in certain ways. The master also sees what is the intent, how it is, what is the capability, all that. And beautifully the relationship goes on, and both, Gurudev did so much of service, and Tapon Maharaj is the one who produced a Swami Chinmayananda, so both have their own glory. Shivanandji told Gurudev, go roar like Vivekananda. Both his gurus gave him different types of blessings. One gave him cautious blessing, one said, go roar like Vivekananda, full freedom. My point is, Shraddha does not mean only everything I have to just obey, surrender, and yes, I will do. If there is a devotee who is of that temperament, who's just for him everything, my guru said this, full stop, I don't think left and right. That is one type of disciple. All disciples can't be like that. And there are some disciples who have this intellectual bent of mind, who will question, who will have many doubts, and who will disagree, and who will want to experiment on their own, and who will have their own path that they want to chalk. Either ways, one has Shraddha in the teacher. What did Gurudev say? The entire Chinmaya mission is nothing but my gratitude, my Guru Dakshina to my Guru. It is the tapas of Taponji Maharaj, the whole Chinmaya mission. And that's how Gurudev lived, offering his Guru Dakshina to his Guru. Because he said, all that I am is because of my teacher, in whom I became silent. Those are his words. In whom I became silent. Such powerful words. The small I became silent. Tapon Maharaj is that consciousness. See that Shraddha there. And that Shraddha is unshaken through the whole life. Who brought Tapon Maharaj to the maximum number of people is Gurudev. Tapon Maharaj is in his own right a great scholar and known in a certain circle of scholars and Vedantins and Himalayan sadhus. But Gurudev took him across the world. So many books published, so many things he spoke about Tapon Maharaj. What a beautiful thing. So that is called Shraddha. So Shraddha in the Prameya, that is the goal. Shraddha in the Pramana, that's the Guru, and in Vedanta Shastra. That if the Shastra is saying that it is time-tested knowledge, I must learn this. And Shraddha in the Pramata, that I am the seeker. I can walk this path. I will be able to know the truth. If the top two are there, the third one will happen. Just give me a minute. So Shraddha in the Pramata, that I am the seeker, that I am also capable of reaching the truth. We may have, certain impurities, weaknesses. Our mind may not be yet single-pointed. But when we have Shraddha in our Guru, when we have Shraddha in Bhagwan, when we have Shraddha in Ishvara, then the Shraddha will come that I will be able to reach, I can reach. It is more in terms of confidence actually that I can walk the path. That's the confidence one gets. But one calls it as Shraddha in this context. But otherwise it is that yes, I can reach. One should not look only at the weaknesses. One should also look at the blessings. One should also look at the grace. And one should also look at the Purushartha. All the three. Already so much of blessings are there in our life. That's a proof that grace of Bhagwan is with me. I have a human body. I have company of great masters like Gurudev. We have come under their umbrella. We are studying the scripture. That is all grace of Bhagwan. It does not happen just like that. And that grace is invoked because some punya karma one has done. Then only that grace is manifesting also through that punya karma, through all this. So in the blessings that I have because of punya, in the grace that Bhagwan has showered upon me, I have that faith. And in the capability of mine, in the present, I will put the Purushartha, I will put the efforts required. No matter what I have been till yesterday, till the last moment, the previous moment, from this moment I am a different person. I can change. Some past tendencies will be such that they will make me, more attached or get distracted or fall for some temptation, some weakness, but I will still put my effort again. As many times I may fall, that many times I will rise and I will walk. There is no other solution. That much one must have the clarity. Walk. Just keep walking. Charaiveti, charaiveti, says the Vedas. Keep walking. Keep moving. Don't. Akhandanand used to say very nicely, atko mat, bhatko mat. So much simplicity in these two lines, but so much deep knowledge also. Atko mat, bhatko mat. Atko mat means don't get attached to anything, don't stop anywhere. One can think so much on that. Atko mat. Don't get fixated, don't get attached, don't stop your pursuit. Keep pursuing. Atko mat. And bhatko mat. Don't go round and round wandering in samsar. Straight path to the truth. Pathless path it is, but it is still the goal is there in our mind. Path is given by the scriptures. We keep walking on that. In samsar, we will go round, 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 round. Why? Because no matter what I get, I still remain finite. And still there is all sorrow and perishable nature of things, and attachment will bring us maximum sorrow. It goes on. There's no end to samsara if we are bound in that. But there is an exit out of that, which is this knowledge of the Upanishads, Brahma Vidya. That once I have, hold on to that chareveti. Atko mat, bhatko mat, keep walking. That is a faith that one must have, that as I keep walking, the path will become clearer and goal I will reach. This is Shraddha. If one has this Shraddha, when the teacher is giving us this particular knowledge, at the moment I'm not able to experience it, but I hold on to that knowledge and keep implementing as much as I can implement, and I will see that I become one with that supreme truth. That is the guarantee of the Vedas and the Upanishads, that whoever walks this path will reach. How soon we will reach depends on our intensity of seeking, our effort, and our sadhana. Again, I'm saying reach only because as of now we feel we are different from it. Otherwise, our true nature is that we can only discover it. So, Shraddha. So, this is the first step here. Brahmaji says Shraddha. Through Shraddha, you come to know this. And that will include everything. As we learn from the teacher, we reflect. So, Shravanam, when we do, that gives us more and more awareness of the truth. Mananam, when we do, that brings us logical conviction. Then one does Nididhyasan, and one detaches from the BMI, attaches to the truth. All this Shraddha will do all this, and one will realize. So for today, I will stop here. There is another program to take up. So if there are any questions, we have 5 minutes. We will answer them and then we conclude. I will come to meditation again after a few classes when the instructions on meditation start. One question has come when we talk about enlightened beings in terms of gender, I mostly hear male names like Namdevji, Vivekanandji, and hardly any female names. Example, Mirabai. Mirabai ji. Does it mean that being a female attaining enlightenment is more difficult than being a male? Nothing like that. That's all conditioning of the human mind only. There are so many female saints. Gargi is there, Maitreyi is there, Mirabai is there, Andal is there, Anandamayi is there. You know, Lal Ded from Kashmir is there. So many of them are there. Janabai is there, Sakubai is there, Muktabai is there. So many of them are there across the country. At least from what I know about, limited I know about Bharat. There are so many. Our scriptures don't distinguish between male and female. Yes, there is a challenge in terms of attachments. So if the mind has more attachments, more physical dependencies, etc., then it becomes a challenge, but that will happen to anybody. It can happen to a male also. It's not about the gender. Gurudev always said that the scripture addresses the mind, not the body. So the mind, which is very attached, which is calculative, which is steeped in body identification, which is very, very dependent on uh, approval, validation, praise, appreciation, etc., that mind will find it difficult. But even that mind will know the truth. It's not that they can't know. So nobody is written off, and especially gender-wise, nobody is written off. In our culture, it is Janev Samskar was given to women just like men. That all deterioration has happened, it has stopped. Otherwise, you see the Janev is also given, they go to Gurukul also and they learn. So many of them are Guru Patnis who teach. And so there is no such distinction from the vision of the scriptures. Pramana Prameya. Right. Yeah, next class we will elaborate little more. No problem. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru Namaha. Harihi Om.